Imagine embarking on an unforgettable journey through the heart of Italy, where every turn is a new treasure and every moment is filled with beauty and culture. You start your adventure in Rome, the eternal city. Next, you venture into the rolling hills of Tuscany, where the air is perfumed with the scent of vineyards and olive grove. The journey continues to Venice, the floating city of canals and gondolas, after Five Earth and Milan. But your Italian adventure doesn't end on land. It's about to get even more extraordinary. A magical journey through Italy, topped off with a house music festival on Costa Cruise. Dance under the stars, relax in style, and discover exclusive performances on deck, all while sailing to some of the most beautiful destinations. There are 3 packages to choose from. Sailing dates are from September 24th through the 28th, 2025. Book yours now at festivaloncruise.com.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Heidi's house. I'm your host, Queen Bee Heidi B. And in today's episode, our featured guest is Chris Marquez. He is an artist, DJ, and music producer. I'm very happy to have him joining to this podcast. He is a great friend of mine and colleague. So, are you ready to hear more about his house music journey? Then, let's go. So, here he is. Chris Marquez is in Heidi's house. Woohoo! Welcome. How are you today, Chris?
I'm great. And you?
I'm doing very well, and I'm very happy to have you taking part into this podcast as well and share your house music journey.
I'm also glad that you put me on your podcast.
Definitely. And I'm happy, of course, to be able to have a chance to collaborate with you and work with you when it comes to the music, but also sharing a little bit more on house music through this discussion. It's just awesome, opportunity for both of us and also for the audience to learn a little bit about your artist profile and your brand, so to say, if we can call it like that, and to know more about Chris Marquez. So, without further ado, let's go to the first question. So, could you tell us a little bit who is Chris Marquez?
Well, Chris Marquez, it's a DJ. First of all, it's a DJ, and it's a DJ that loves house music, pure house music. It's the feeling about the records of house music makes me enjoy producing music. So first a DJ, and then producer. Producer from house music, mostly classic house, and of course soulful house.
Yes, and I have to say that the original starting, or how do you say that, your first DJ, it really truly shows also in your music. It's very in that sense it's DJ friendly, and the sound is wide, and you can notice it in your music, which is beautiful.
I think I already told you once or two when we sometimes call each other, because I like to make my songs DJ friendly.
Yeah.
Also for me, because I play the songs too, and so if a song is more DJ friendly, more people gonna play it.
Absolutely.
It's what I think, because I have lots of songs that I love, but it's hard to play. It's hard to play that songs.
Yeah.
For one reason or for another reason, it's hard, and so that's why I try to make my songs DJ friendly, to be
Absolutely.
more. people to play it. Yeah.
Absolutely. And then the soundscape there is really like that sound environment is also very wide. You can really imagine how the richness of the sound is like full and wide. And you can imagine the club and everything, like, that what is also standing out in your productions to me.
I think you have that idea because most of my songs are recorded with real musicians.
Yeah.
Most of my songs, and having that kind of richness on the songs, that's in my opinion what make a good track.
Absolutely. I fully agree with that. All right. And I have to say and I'm so happy about the fact that you are, embracing the musicianship and you are using the real musicians in this music industry, which is very much nowadays quite loop based, so to say. So that is a big plus and bonus.
Yes, but it's not easy. It's not an easy thing to have real musicians on the songs.
Yeah.
Because for me, when I like I say, it's only my opinion, but when I look to one song, for me, it has to make economically sense to me.
True.
First of all, it has to be economically in the mind, because we cannot spend tons of money to make no sense now.
True. And I think what you said to me sometime is that you rather release few tracks in a year that are really well done, and because you are investing on those and it really is very audible and very clear. So that makes sense with that kind of thinking that you really choose.
For me, it's not about the quantity; it's about the quality. For me, it's not nothing that I would like to release 10 songs per month. It has no sense for me.
Absolutely.
Maybe the numbers of DJ charts of plays we're going to get higher, but it's kind of like a boot. It's just numbers.
Yeah. True that. And that is something that really I also believe that when making music, that we should really focus on quality, something that stands more the time than just producing for the sake of producing and getting stuff out there.
I usually say to some people, even if the productions, because of we don't know more or we don't have more knowledge, but if we as a producer gave our best, and the people say it's our best, so we put our heart and on the songs, and hopefully the clubs, the people who play, the DJs enjoy the songs.
Absolutely. Yes. Okay. With that little introduction, I would like to ask a little bit more. What got you into house music originally? Can you remember?
I am not that old, but yes, I remember. I remember. I start as a DJ when I was 14. When I Yes, very
early.
because one friend of mine opens a small club here in my town, and some friends go to the bar to bartender, and for me, no, I go I go play some music, but I didn't know how to play music. I just enjoy music and just drops one and takes one, just that.
Yeah.
But the things going was my feelings for music was growing, so I have a very good friend that teach me, how to mix.
Yeah.
A guy called Del Carmo. It was a DJ who was a friend of mine, and he teach me how to mix
Ah,
on turntables. Real was on that moment that I enjoy most, when the things were flowing and we know what to do.
yeah.
And from there I just start playing in more clubs, and the feeling about music grow. And it's a funny fact, because you have I saw the podcast with Guru Fell,
Mm-hmm.
and he say one thing that I captured my mind, because I feel the same what he say. Guru Fella talks about one club in Lisbon,
Yeah.
traveling. I have the same feeling that he have. When I was, yes, the first time I go to that club, not playing, just enjoying the music,
Mhm.
and the sound was so rich, the atmosphere was so good, that makes me want to learn more and more and more.
Ah,
So that I was it was a funny fact, because it that club was a really game change for me.
yeah. Honestly, I have to go there one day. Now, both of you have been talking about that, so I just have to. So, people, if you go to Lisbon in Portugal, go to club called Kremlin, right?
It's a great club, and yeah, it was a very good nights there.
Mm,
As a listener, as a customer, not for I never play in Clermont,
mm.
but I have the same feeling, because the sound there makes you travel. It's a very good club, and that club for me was a game changer for me.
All right. So, was it something that really influenced you getting into the house music scene even more?
More, yes, definitely,
Beautiful.
because on that club only great DJs play, and we listen to music, and it's an incredible thing.
Oh, beautiful. All right. So now I will lead us to a next question. If you think about artists that have inspired you some way, you and your music, who would those artists be?
Yes, I think there are two or three artists, international artists, that really inspires my music. In the beginning, I can tell you that was Bob Sinclair. Bob Sinclair was, yeah, maybe in the early 20s, 2024, 25. Bob Sinclair with Africanism and DJ Gregory, for me, it was a very inspirational for as a DJ, and for my will to want to learn producing music.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, I think on the beginning was Bob Sinclair, definitely.
All right. Any other that stands out somehow in your
Yes.
musical
Now,
journey?
our days and some time ago, of course, Louis Vega,
Mm.
Saint Rivera, there are music that I enjoy. That's music that I want to make, that kind of music.
Yeah.
And yes, they truly inspire me.
Yes. I have
Louis
to.
Vega, I think Louis Vega can inspire everyone with
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And
elements of and Josh Mill and singing. Yeah, of course.
I'm thinking also you have that kind of you have flavors from very like I would say there's a hint of some Latin, hint of some Afro sometimes in your productions. I can hear this kind of very rhythmical, beautiful elements there. Also, a bit of jazz, I would say. I can hear also in your productions.
I have one friend that's Mario Marquez. It's a very good friend of mine, and once he said to me, for your music to stand out from the others, you have to almost have a brand. And sometimes I go from more Latin flavors, but also with some jazz inside, because I also like very much jazz.
Yeah.
Yes. Besides house music, I like jazz, and I like a good key player from playing the piano. I love it. So in my productions, I try to drop some jazz influence, also some Afro influence, but it's a how can I say, it's a thing, the Afro thing. It's very recent. It's not. It's very recent. But yes, jazz in the Latin, of course.
It's beautiful. It's really and it makes sense then with your work approach where you use also the really musicians for that, you know, so it comes beautifully together and makes truly sense.
Yeah, a song have to tell a story.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And now I'm gonna bring you that tricky question because it has been very tricky for many of my guests here. But I've been always asking if they could name, let's say, three of their top house tracks. It can be a few more, of course, but let's put it like this. What would be those tracks that you would say that you can always go back to, that you never get tired of?
I think that that's not a hard thing to me, because I like vinyl, and I have a few records, a few ones, and there are records that I are maybe 20 years, but I still play that songs today. John Cutler, It's Yours, for me, it's a classic.
Yeah,
You know the song, for me, it's classic. Finally, from Kings of Tomorrow, also.
beautiful. Yeah, I love it.
If you to make sense, the more sense for what I am saying, for me there are a few songs also that maybe are not so soulful like I like, but for me it has a strong feeling. I have one song that I truly love. It's from Bob Sinclair, World Hold On. It's an old song, but for me the lyrics that song are so global that I think for me it's one of the best songs for me.
Yeah, yeah, beautiful. So people, check those tracks out if you are if you haven't heard them already. They are classics and really timeless pieces. So please check them out. A very nice selection.
Of course, I also like new music, of course, but I think this kind of old songs for me makes sense, because like I say, I'm a vinyl guy. I like to buy vinyl,
Yeah.
and for me having that songs are priceless, because I still play that songs today.
True, true, true. And I love the fact that you have that song orientation, because sometimes when we do listen the modern music, so to say, or music of today, it seems to be a little bit fragmented and maybe sometimes a bit too much loop based, so to say. I'm again coming back to the real musicianship and also to the songwriting and everything. So it's lovely to hear that you also kind of embrace that
Because
song structure and that kind of.
I think on if that kind of songs that I talk about have so much success, we all can learn something from the songs.
Yeah. If you think about Finally, for instance, absolutely beautiful lyrics, absolutely beautiful melodies, harmonies, arrangement, and then of course the performance and everything there. It's absolutely like prestige. And that's exactly one of those tracks that I would also listen again and again and again, and I would never get tired of it.
And if you get tired from the original, you can go listen the remix from Danny Krivit.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
And I learn a lot from that songs by listening.
Yeah, exactly. I think for the music producers and DJs, artists, the best thing that you can actually use is to learn to use your ears, not so much to follow others, but really use the ears, because the ears are the best tool wherever you are, whether you are in studio, if you are an artist, instrumentalist, a DJ, that's the thing. You need to train those ears.
Totally agree with what you are saying, because in the past I was trying to learn, of course, on YouTube's, on making courses on the internet, but looking for all the YouTube pages. But I think I can learn more by just listen, and, and I think it's the best way to learn.
Sure.
Of course, if we have some kind of guidance with someone, of course that's better. But by listen music, for me, it's the best way to learn.
Yeah, that's the same thing for me also. All this theory and everything else, knowledge and information, it just enhances that. But really, the that own experience of learning and training your ears is really, I think it's a must if you really want to go deeper in a musicianship or music production or DJing, whatever you do in a field of music. All right, now I'm gonna ask another question, Chris, about your own productions, about your own tracks and songs. Is there some track somehow that is a bit more special to you? If you think about all of your works, and or somehow stands out from others, and maybe why? What could be reason? Can you?
Yes, I think I can have one of two that are special in the different ways.
Yes.
I have, for me, Deeper from Vanessa Jackson, for me was a big song. But like I said before, that song was recorded 100% by musicians. All the bass, the Rhodes, with all musicians. And I think that's why that song was so popular.
Yes.
And for me, that's one of the songs. In another way, for me, I have one song with Nicole Mitchell and Mario Marquez. It's called "Get Out Your Box."
Mm-hmm.
It was the first time I really worked with real vocals from a singer,
Yeah.
and was very hard for me on that time, very hard. But for me, I think it was special
Yeah.
because of that. It was
Yes.
the first time I truly have maybe 50 takes of back vocals, double vocals, was lead, was very hard for me, but I think it was special because of that.
Yeah.
And maybe in another way, Go With The Flow, a more recent song. It's a more clubbing sound. It was special because on that song, the keyboard, I'm not a keyboard player. I don't play, but on that song, I play that chords on the piano. Yeah, it was simple chords. It
Wonderful.
really, yes, it was really simple chords, but it was special also for me because of that.
Yeah.
And that song has some success also. And once I was in one club and start playing the song,
Mhm.
and once the song plays, I listen the chords, and yeah, it was very, I like it very much.
I can imagine the feeling when being there and then listen. Okay, oh, I did this. Woo. You know, you know, I think that we never get tired of that feeling when you really like, hear your music somewhere and you're like, especially when you take a little bit distance and you are really like in awe, like, did I really do this? It's a so great feeling. And then how you see how people are responding to your works and everything. So that's always something that touches
It's something wonderful all the times.
all the time. Now, you know that this interview always is kind of a short snapshot into each featured guest. So I only have a few little questions left, but I would like to still ask them. If you think about your house music journey so far, Chris, what would you say is your current highlight or highlights? What things stand out?
That's a tricky question.
Oh, okay.
Because maybe I'm a people's guy. I like to talk with people. I like to go with the phone and call if you are okay. And I think for me the highlight until this moment was when I realized that I start to talk with some of my idols from music.
Yeah,
Maybe yes, maybe for me that's one of the highlights for me,
yeah.
because when I start to talk with Jay Ropero, with a few, and I realize I listen to songs that this person's made, and now I am talking with that person. For me, that's a highlight for me.
That's very, very good point and wonderful.
I can say, of course, I play on that party. It was very good. But for me, as a person,
Mhm.
that's my highlight. Start to talking with the people that I used only listen on the
Yes,
music.
that's
Yeah.
amazing. And I have to share about the similar thing that has been also very delightful for me and somehow like exciting. Like, oh my goodness, I used to listen that person's music and now I'm like collaborating with them. It seems sometimes a little bit surreal somehow, but it's very cool. Thank you for sharing that point.
That connects more the people.
True,
Because
absolutely.
of course, everyone have had some party that like to play. Of course, that was a club that was very good to play. The audience was, but for me, it's more about the people,
Yeah.
connecting with the people.
All right. And that's what house music is very much all about as well. And now I would like to ask, yes, please, yes.
You don't forget, I live in Portugal. I don't live in USA, so
Yeah.
it's not easy to connect.
I know exactly the same feeling here in Finland. So we kind of we do our thing nevertheless from our a little bit unusual location, so to say. But hey, it's cool. World is getting smaller, so that's nice in that sense.
It happens with you too. When you talk with people, they are from USA, they are
Yeah,
from Germany, where yeah, and it's hard to connect when we are in the different location geographically speaking.
true. Now, the last question. Can you tell briefly about your current project and what projects and what can we look forward to in near future?
Yes, of course. Our We have a current project that we are finishing. We
Yeah.
can talk about it. For me, it's a beautiful song with your vocals. It's called Your Touch, and
Yes.
it's gonna be out next 10 of
10th
June.
of May. 10th of May. Yes.
10 of May, yes. 10
Maybe.
of May. That's one of the songs that gonna be out sooner. And it's a really nice track. I think it's gonna work. It's gonna work on the clubs because it has a punch. It has some nice environment with the instrumental, and of course it has your beautiful voice. So I enjoy the song a lot. But I also have a lot other projects. I have the remix of Getting Freedom. I think it's gonna be a great song also. It's a real Afro song.
Yes.
Uh, gonna be released. I think it's 10 of June. I think it's 10 of June. And have other projects also. I have one song to finish with Ed Ramsey for a long
Yes.
a long time, but that's a special song. And I have one more with Nicky Prince from UK. But at this moment, it's gonna be only that songs because after I finished that two songs, I'm gonna take a break of production and jumping into a music production course to learn more about music. I think I want to elevate my standards of music, so I have to learn more. So that's going to
I
be my
I'm gonna be so excited about that, to hear your future productions, because already you are making amazing job and amazing work and creations, with me and all the other artists that you mentioned. So I'm looking forward to that phase.
as you know, it's all about learning and improving, and all days are getting out new skills, new production skills, and if we want to improve our songs, I think we need to learn it.
Yes, I completely 100% agree. It's the constant process, and that's what makes it beautiful in our musicianship and in our music journey. All right, and I have to say, after this interview part, we are gonna hear mini mix, and we are gonna hear some of those tracks mentioned, including our track "Your Touch." So I'm very happy to share your music in that mini mix. And now, last but not least, if somebody would like to know more about you, Chris, and find you in social media, where can they find you?
uh, the people can find me on Instagram, of course. My page is from Instagram or Facebook. It's Chris Marquez official in both of that, on Facebook and on Instagram, but also on Spotify. Spotify, I think it's a very big thing at this moment, to people getting more and more people listen our songs, and of course buying songs on Tracksource and on Beatport. Of course, that only that way we can make more songs. If people don't buy, we cannot.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like I said at the start, it has to be. This is a business, so it has to be economically make sense for me as a producer. So yes.
And for all of us artists. So it's a good way to actually finish this discussion, and people remember to check those tracks that he mentioned, and remember to support the new music of Chris Marquez and all the artists here featured in the podcast. And in general, it is really so that your support means literally the world to us and helps us to continue and strive. So now I'm gonna send you lots of love and big hugs all the way from Helsinki. Mwah and mwah, mwah. And thank you for this interview, Chris.
Thank you for having me here, and thank you for all the people that's going to see this interview.
Most welcome. All right, take care. Bye
Support.
bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.